All right, let's get after it. Woo! We got some amazing training for today. Man, today, Friday is not just about information. Today is going to be about production, right? We're going to be talking about appointments. We're going to be talking about appointments. Reason being is appointments is like the oxygen of our business, y'all. Without appointments, we're not going to have no income. There's no promotions. There's no momentum. And so for the next hour, y'all, we're going to be talking about appointment setting and booking actual real appointments. Jasmine's going to show you how to actually set these appointments, talking to you about them. And then we're going to turn this into a competition, man. So listen, the expectations are if you're on Zoom, cameras on, let's get these phones charged up, right? Make sure you got something to take notes with because Jasmine is going to deliver. And just for this one little hour right here, y'all, let's focus in on no multitasking, right? No multitasking, no, I'm on, doing all sorts of different things for the day. All those things are going to be there when the training is done. Listen, engage for the next 30 minutes with Jasmine, the next hour for the entire training. And I promise you, you're going to get better today. So y'all help me welcome the incredible regional vice president, soon to be senior vice president, the incredible Jasmine Hatch. Let's go, Jasmine.
That's right. That's right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And Jason, if you could give me sharing capabilities, that would be perfect. So, my name is Jasmine Hatch, Regional Vice President out of McDonough, Georgia. For those who do not know me, under the awesome and incredible Willis and Jeanette Wright. Okay. So, just to tell y'all a little bit more about me, I started with this company at 23 years old. So, I was in school for accounting. That was my career up until 2020. I ended up losing my job due to the pandemic. So, I think my coach tells this story the best because he's so dramatic. But I was the person that pretty much paid the bills if you know anything about accounting. And I remember calling him one day, Rosalinda, and I remember telling him, I was like, hey, I don't think they're going to be able to pay us. So I remember the account going from like 200,000 to 20,000. And it probably was maybe a week or so. And then Friday, they pulled us in the office and said, hey, Jasmine, we can no longer pay your salary. So I was a little upset, cried in the car, but I tell everybody I didn't go to Publix, I didn't go home. I went to my Primerica office, right? And I walked in that day. I didn't walk in and say, hey, I'm coming in to be a regional vice president. I'm coming in to be the best. Karen, I just said, you know what? I'm coming in to commit to the work. And one of the things that I could do during the pandemic, Carl, was set appointments. I could no longer prospect because of the pandemic. So today I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about setting appointments. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. And I do apologize, y'all, if my voice goes in and out. My daughter gave me her germs. I'm gonna stick to that. So I apologize about that. And then, of course, spirit of Christmas. Christmas is next week. So I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas just in case I get too excited and don't and forget to tell you. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about setting appointments. Whether you're great at it, whether you're just starting out, this training should be for you. Okay. So first things first, before you go into setting appointments and understand about how to set appointments, you have to understand that to be the best, you have to beat the best, and to beat the best, you have to know what the best is doing and be willing to do it. So one of the things, Karen, that I believe one of the things that the best people do is set appointments, right? Because appointments lead to recruiting. Appointments lead to closing, right? Without that, you cannot set an appointment. Okay. So here's the mindset when it comes to setting appointments, right? So number one, I always tell my team, he or she who sets the most appointments makes the most money. That's just it. So if you're setting appointments, you should be one of the ones that's on an appointment almost every single day. The second part of the mindset is start setting appointments and become disciplined with the continuation of setting them. I don't know what I was saying, but anywho, you start, but you also want to keep the discipline, Rosalinda, when it comes to setting the appointment. Don't stop. Okay. And we'll talk a little bit about that, Jose, as we go. All right. And then you want to repeat the same script with every call. One of the things, Jesse, that I did as I was setting appointments below RVP, I would always pick up the phone and try to set the appointment based on the person that picks up the phone. Does not work. So I would say, hey, this person is 70. I don't want to talk to them about recruiting. I want to talk to them about, life insurance. Say the same thing. I spoke to my sister and I said, hey, if I was to give you a call, which one would you be most interested in? Would you be more interested in spending money, meaning getting a life insurance policy, or making money. She said, making money, Jasmine. I said, okay. Every single time I'm going to talk about recruiting. Okay. Unless it's a referral call, you want to talk about recruiting. And then the next one, master quick appointment setting. That's one of the things I definitely mastered below our VP. I remember one of my teammates, he said, dang, Jasmine, you just set that in 40 seconds. So I know I can set an appointment in less than a minute. A lot of times we take so much time, you know, creating our list and doing all kind of other things, or chit-chatting on the phone. You can do that once you recruit them, right? So when you set that appointment, Rosalinda, it should be, hey, my name is, are you available? I'll see you tomorrow. That's it, right? So that's a little bit of the mindset. You also want to make sure that you understand that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So mess it up. It's totally fine. The person that's looking for you will accept the opportunity. They will accept the Zoom. Set with a sense of urgency, right? 2 days in Primerica, today and tomorrow. So if you are not doing anything in the evening, you want to make sure that you offer that up, right, Ricky? And you want to make sure that you offer either today or tomorrow. So set with a sense of urgency when it comes to setting appointments. Always confirm your appointments. This is really big. Some of my teammates will come to me and say, well, Jasmine, I set, 6 appointments, but nobody showed up. Did you confirm them? Did you remind them? Haven't you missed an appointment before? So you want to make sure you confirm your appointments or use some type of system that will help you confirm those appointments. Create a list. I usually create my list the night before, because keep in mind, if you have an hour to set an appointment, what do? Carl, we spend 30 minutes creating a list before we even pick the phone up, right? So George, you want to make sure you create the list prior to you actually setting the appointment, okay? So make sure you do that. Do not leave voicemails. I know y'all are probably, Daphne, you're probably like, what? We're making calls. Why don't we leave voicemails, right? Do not leave voicemails. Because it takes more time to leave a voicemail. Again, I don't make a 40-second phone call by leaving voicemails. What I usually do, I text, hey, this is Jasmine. Give me a call back when you get this. And a lot of times, right, people are nosy. They want to know, well, who are you and why are you calling me? So you want to just make sure you shoot them a text. I believe they'll see the text faster than they'll see the voicemail. And then don't stop until you reach your goal. Even if you get hungry, don't stop. Finish your appointments. My goal is to set 10. I know that I can set 10 in an hour. I know I can. So my goal is to set 10. Whatever your goal is, do not stop until you reach that goal. I don't care if you got to use the bathroom. Do not stop until you reach that goal, okay? Because if you go to the bathroom, you're going to start talking to somebody else, stop them from setting their appointments, and now you're doing something else. So don't stop until you reach your goal, okay? Last but not least, be excited. This is one of the things I always talk about. Be excited. They can hear that on the other side of the phone. When you're setting those appointments, you got to be thinking, Ray, you're bringing someone into an exciting environment. So Daphne, you want to be excited. They should be able to hear you smile through the phone, Jesse. The next thing, expect to set an appointment. When you pick up the phone, you want to make sure that you hands down, that's your confidence. I'm going to set this appointment. All right. Unless something happens, they fall in a black hole while we're on the phone, I'm setting this appointment. All right. Environment, distractions, and accountability. Where are you when you're setting your phone calls? Are you in an environment that's loud? Are you in an environment that's conducive to setting appointments? Are you surrounded by people that are not setting appointments? Distractions, right? If you know an Instagram notification is going to take you off, either silence it or use another device, right? Distractions, your children, are you using them as a distraction, right? Are they a distraction to you? Put them to sleep. Give them something while you make calls. And then accountability. I love to make calls in a group setting because it holds you accountable to getting the job done. Always set appointments with new recruits. When you have a new recruit, it is, I know Leighton says it all the time. You want to make sure you set appointments with your new recruit, right? And let them watch you, right? Let them listen to you set the appointment. You set them together and get together. Never let them set them by themselves, okay? All right, and then be more concerned with setting the appointment than the outcome. I know that sounds crazy as all get out, y'all, but you want to load up the front end. How many appointments are you putting in? You want to make sure you load it up. You want to make sure you put as many appointments in on the front end as you can. All right. And let the cookies fall where they may, whatever that saying is, let the pieces fall where they may on the outcome. All right. And then last but not least, you have to be willing to be bad to be good and be willing to be good to be great. A lot of us are not willing to pick up the phone, but you have to be willing to be bad. It's okay that you stumble. It's okay that you read a word wrong. They don't know. Right. I remember below RVP, how I learned how to set appointments was sitting in the same room as my coach, right? Or sitting outside of his room. And I would listen to him say certain things and I would say, okay, I'm going to change that. Okay, I'm going to change that. So it's really important to set appointments in an environment with people who already know how to set appointments. And that's how you become good and that's how you get great at it. All right, y'all. So you're either sitting or you're setting. If you're on Zoom, put what that means to you. What does that mean? You're either sitting or you're setting. I remember saying this to somebody in a training on Tuesday. I forgot the answer, but it was crazy. You're either sitting or you're setting. That's the biggest thing. You're either sitting or you're setting. I remember when I worked at Wendy's, my manager used to yell from the back, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. So what this means is you're sitting in front of a Zoom talking to somebody about recruiting or you're setting an appointment. That's the work. If you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I get this thing moving? That's the work. You're either sitting on an appointment or you're setting an appointment. What else do you have to do? Right? So that's the mindset when it comes to setting appointments. There are so many ways to set appointments here. Number one, a phone call, a cold call or a warm call, right? You pick up the phone. Hey, my name is, this is what I have to offer. This is what I'm looking for. Are you interested? Do you know anybody? So a cold call, someone you don't know, a warm call, someone you do know. Text message. I believe when my daughter was, maybe she was around 1 or 2 for my parents on the call. I stopped making phone calls and I started sending texts. Okay. That was about a year or so ago because she was so loud in the background. I felt like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm so unprofessional. So I would text to set the appointment. Would the appointment set? Daphne, yes, it would set. Okay. But if you don't know that person, there's a lower chance, Rosalinda, of that person showing up than if they hear your voice on the phone. So now if I'm making a phone call as a mom and they hear my daughter in the background, Journey in the background, I'm like, you know what? I'm so sorry. That's my daughter. And I keep rolling because 9 times out of 10, Karen, you're probably talking to someone that has children. You can set an appointment by direct message, inbox, while prospecting out and about. Instead of just getting the name and number, hey, are you available later today? Right? I know we're grocery shopping right now, but can I get you on a Zoom tomorrow? Would you be available tomorrow to hear about what I have, hear about what we're doing? Personal market, this is the easiest one. Personal warm market, easiest one. If they're your friend, your auntie, your uncle, you should be able to set an appointment without even asking. Hey, cousin, I need you on the Zoom. This is a Zoom ID. I'll see you tomorrow. It should be that easy. And then your clients, another easy one. They already know what you do. They already know, Miss Karen, you just got your life insurance license, right? You just helped them with a life insurance policy. Who do you know, right? Can I get you back on a Zoom to review your policy? These are the easiest calls to make. And then, of course, referrals, right? Referrals are definitely key. One of the things I always ask people is, who do you care about that you want to make sure? Now, you don't know, Ms. Karen, whether they have life insurance or not, but you just want to make sure that they're covered. Who do you know, Ray, that you want to make sure that if anything happens to them, they don't have a GoFundMe? Who do you care about? And then that person will come up. And again, Pandora, I don't care if they have life insurance or not. I want to talk to them, Daphne. And then, of course, networking events. Get yourself out there, get some cards, start talking to people. You can set those on the spot. And this one right here, I love old prospects and lists. People come and people go, and that's totally fine. This business is not for everybody, Everett. So if you have a list of people, I know I'm public enemy number one. When they call me and they're like, you call my people. I sure did. Are you ready to get a license? Right? So old prospects and lists, call. I got your name and number from George. George, he worked with me some time ago. He left your name and number. I'm calling to see if you're open to making some extra income, right? So just call. You never know who's on the other side of the phone. All right. So here's an example of appointment setting. When it comes to two people, I love visuals. I love people to understand exactly what I'm saying. And I do apologize for the blurriness. So just move a little closer to the screen. Okay. So you have two people at the start of, let's say, the 90-day run that says, you know what, I'm going to focus on appointment setting, right? Person A comes out the gate. They set 30 appointments. Person B, they've committed to 10 appointments a day. All right. So there's consistent 10. On Tuesday, person A has 18 appointments set. Person B, 10 again. On Wednesday, 20 appointments set for person A, person B sets
Thank you
10.
for calling, Mrs.
And then
Shams.
Thursday and
May I have your name?
Friday, 0 appointments for person A. And then person B, again, they set their consistent 10. So at the end of that week, person A has 68 appointments, person B has 50. And then you have to ask yourself, which one do you identify with? Are you person A or are you person B? Right? So then you have week 2 that comes. Now, person A still has 0 for Monday. Why? Because they're coming off of 0, so they're probably going into 0, right? Person B has their 10 set. Tuesday, they're ready to go, right? Monday, I had the Monday blues. I really didn't want to set an appointment. Now on Tuesday, I'm ready to go. I set 25, right? So they're throwing in all these appointments. And then Wednesday, I'm a little tired because I had a lot going on yesterday. So I set 3, Thursday 0, Friday 30, right? So y'all see the gist of it. So now person A is at 58, person B is at 50 again. Now you're probably thinking, person A, they still have more appointments. But what happens in week 3 is person A is not consistent. So their efforts are starting to lag. Now they have 35 appointments for the week, but person B has 50. Right. And then number 4, you've given up by week 4. Now the great divide happens, and now you've given up. You set 5 appointments for the week and you're like, it's okay. But person B still has their 50. So I say that to say, hopefully you can see person A, person B, the difference in the two. You don't see it when you start. You don't see the inconsistencies when you start and what it costs you on the later end. But for me, what I would tell you is to commit to something. Commit to setting, 10 appointments a day. If you can do 10, do 10. If you can do 5, do 5. But every single day, like clockwork, you want to be setting an appointment. All right. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. Again, I'm a visual person. So when I see it and it hits me and I'm like, okay, I get it. It's so important to be consistent when it comes to appointment setting. So I'm reading for the second time in this 90-day run. I'm reading The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I live by this book. Okay. My coach, Willis, he told me to pick this up plenty of times. I think 2 or 3 years now, he's told me to pick up The Slight Edge. This book is so good. I'm literally giving it away for Christmas gifts. Okay. People are probably going to look at me crazy, but this book will change your life. One of the concepts in the book is pretty much talking about good habits versus bad habits. Now, keep in mind, we're all at the beginning of the 90-day run, and some people aren't even still here, right? But at the beginning of the 90-day run, we all start at the same playing field, right? But you have good habits and you have bad habits. And you're probably thinking, Miss Karen, the bad habits, 1 or 2 days, it's not going to hurt me, right? For example, eating a cheeseburger today is not going to hurt me. But if you eat a cheeseburger every single day, what happens to your health? It starts to decline, right? So you have those habits that you put in every single day consistently. And then Daphne, towards the end, what's going to happen is it's going to start to open up. And you're either going to move towards success or you're going to move towards failure, Rosalinda. And when it hit me, I was like, oh my gosh. So my thing, Carl, is my objective, my purpose, my goal is to be the most consistent at what I do. I might not be number 1, but I want to be the most consistent because over time, the Slight Edge is pretty much saying, if you're consistent over time, those efforts will start to compound, right? And then that success will show. So it's the simple, productive actions repeated consistently over time. It's the thing that's so easy to do, but also easy not to do. Setting an appointment, Daphne, is so easy to do, but it's also easy not to do, Angelique. And that's the thing. When it hit me, I was like, oh, that's good. So I hope and I pray that hits somebody so you can at least say, okay, whether it's prospecting, setting appointments, whatever it is, I'm going to be the most consistent at this thing going into the year 2026 and watch your life change, watch your business change because of that small effort every single day. A lot of times we feel, Pandora, we have to throw in 50 appointments a day, and then by day 3, you're exhausted. Just put in 10 appointments a day. That's all you need. All right. So find a script and stick to it. All right. Find a script and stick to it. That's it. You don't have to learn 20 different scripts. Find one, stick to it, and set your 10 appointments every single day. Here's a script that everyone can use. All right. I won't train on all the different scripts, but this is one that's universal, whether you're new in the company or whether you've been here for 30 plus years. Okay. Now, there are a few tweaks. If you are new in the company, you can change it. I'm working for a financial services company. But here's what it sounds like. Hey, may I speak to Daphne? Daphne says, hey, it's me. I'm going to say, this is Jasmine Hatch. I have a financial services business, or I work for a financial services company and we're expanding. We're looking for some highly motivated people that would like to work from home, either part-time or full-time. Now, pause. If you want them to come into the office instead of going on Zoom, just change it a little bit. That's it. And then the magic question, y'all, is do you keep your options open? Daphne's on the either going to give me a yes or a no. I love how Coach Ed says, hey, do you keep your options open? Yes or no? Okay, no. Next, do you keep your options open? Yes or no? And you hang up the phone and you don't think about what they said. If they said a no, you keep moving. A lot of times we take too much time in between the phone calls. So great. Are you available later today or tomorrow? Sense of urgency to meet me on the Zoom. I will send you the Zoom information via text. Please confirm that you've received it. I'll see you today at 3 o'clock. That's it. And you call the next person. And then before you know it, your 10 appointments are set. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I remember I have a regional leader. She's a regional leader now, but I remember sitting in the office with her. She was terrified to make appointments, to set appointments. So what I did to her, Angelique, I put her AirPods in her ear and I took her phone, Rosalinda, and I said, hey, you're calling Ray Trumba. And I would dial the number and she had nowhere to go. So look, if you really want to help somebody, you kind of got to just push them off the ledge. So if you need that type of help, tell your coach to do it. And once you make 3 or 4 phone calls, you'll see you didn't die. The worst thing that could happen, they say no, right? You might pass out, but you'll get up. I promise you'll get up. That's that mechanism in our bodies. Will pass out before we die, okay? So you'll be totally fine. It won't take you out, okay? Now, how do you get the appointment set? So this is the system in my mind. Hopefully I can help you understand for the newest person in the room, because I know the vets understand this. How to get this, how to get the momentum going when it comes to setting appointments and actually being productive. You start with the name and number. If you are new, start with the people you know. Again, it's so much easier to talk to the people you know. The next thing you're going to do is make a phone call. If you prefer a text it out, okay? The next thing you're going to do is schedule a Zoom appointment or schedule an in-office appointment, all right? And then you got to get good at your presentation, because what's going to happen, Daphne, your numbers are going to move as fast as you move. So if you have not perfected your presentation, you can set 20 appointments today. And if your coach is not available, right, Karen? What are we doing? So get good at your presentation. Now, there's going to be some results that come out of your presentation. You're going to either recruit them, they're going to become a client, or of course, referrals. For recruit, you do the orientation, you do the licensing, you help them with their plan. And then what happens is you're going to make a 25 to 100. I don't know what your name list is in your hierarchy or in your base, but 25 to 100 names. And you're going to get that name list. And what you're basically going to do is put it back in at the top. You're going to rotate it back in at the top. Does that make sense, y'all? So you're going to make that phone call again, schedule the Zoom appointment, do the presentation. For a client, you do the DIME, the mobile FNA. And if you don't know what that is, get with your coach. Referrals. Who do you care about? You want to make sure that they have life insurance. You don't know whether they have it or not. With those referrals, you throw it back into the system and you do it over and over and over and over until the job gets done. I remember Demira Bolden, she said, who's willing to do it over and over and over again? Even when you're tired, even when you're sick. I remember when a few weeks ago, I remember when I first started, I got the flu for my daughter, like I said, and I'm just coughing on appointments. I'm apologizing, but I'm like, I got to keep going. I got to stay consistent with my appointments, right? So with that being said, hopefully that makes sense. Those names and numbers, you get them and you call them. You don't sit on them, you call them. All right? All right, that's just an intermission. I don't know what was supposed to be there. Your schedule is important. Choose the days and times that will work for you. Pack out your schedule. I remember Gabby talking about, I have 2 children now. I can't stay in the office until 9 or 10 o'clock anymore. Same for me, for the parents on the call. We have to do what most people have 6 to 8 hours to do. We have to do it in 4 to 5 hours, right? So that whatever we have to cram it in. So usually my appointments are set between 12 and 2:30 because I have to pick my daughter up at 3. So my last appointment goes till 3 o'clock and I'm literally rushing out the door to pick up my daughter, okay? But for the most part, choose the days you're going to work and the times you're going to work. If you're part-time, and you figure, okay, I want to do 3 days out of the week, choose those days and pack the heck out of your schedule. I do 30-minute increments. I feel like my presentation should be no more than 7 to 10 minutes. The application should take you no more than 5 to 10 minutes. And then boom, you're out the door. You're on the next Zoom. Okay, so 30-minute increments. And again, I put 3 people in one time slot. I'm juggling. I'm like, hey, wait for me in room 3 or come back in 15 minutes. Or sometimes I'll do a group interview, but I'm doing like 3 in 30 minutes. Schedule your lunchtime, schedule your nap, schedule picking up the kids. You know you're gonna do it, so schedule it. Understand how the system works. So whatever you're using, time tree and Calendar, I'm a rush through this because I got 5 minutes. So figure out what your hierarchy is using, your base is using, and get good at it so it helps you with setting appointments. If an appointment cancels, you don't go eat lunch. You don't go fraternize with the people in the office. You schedule more appointments. You are going to be on an appointment anyway. You're either sitting or you're setting. And then if you're going to use Zoom, Zoom allows you to schedule appointments anywhere. So if you find yourself, you're on Eastern Standard Time, you have someone on Pacific, do the appointment, right? So that's your schedule. Multiple appointments helps you move faster. I understand that. So I just throw a whole bunch of people in those 30-minute increments. All right. I got this from Bill Whittle. I believe it was at an ECBS. He said, look around. They're not taking notes. Yeah, my voice about to go out. They're not taking notes. You can beat most people. Hard work is the great equalizer, right? We're going to change it around. Look around. They're not setting appointments. You can beat most people. Hard work is the great equalizer. So you have to remember, even if my friend over here is not setting appointments, I have to set appointments because I have goals, right? You got to figure out what's going to get you so fired up that you're jumping out of bed to set the appointment. What's going to motivate you enough to say, that's it. I'm going to sit my butt down. I'm not leaving this chair until I set appointments. That was my RVP run. I walked in the office at 8 a.m. And then I didn't leave the office until 9 or 10 o'clock. Now, again, I can't do that now because I have a daughter to feed. They might call the people on me, but that was what I did. And I did not leave my seat until I set my appointments and I had all my Zoom meetings done for that day. We have to figure out what's going to motivate us to get to the next level. What's more important than you staying in the bed or not doing what you need to do or not picking up the phone? Once you figure that out, it's smooth sailing from here. So I know we're about to go into a competition. So I want us to remember the use of mobile phones is required in this area. It's required in this business. So don't be afraid to pick up the phone. Don't be afraid to set that appointment. That's what's going to start your momentum. That's what's going to build this business. You have to talk to somebody in order to recruit. You got to talk to somebody in order to help them with their life insurance policy. So I hope that I got y'all fired up today about setting appointments, especially the mental part of setting appointments. You can do this. You got that. If you set one appointment, you know how to set an appointment. Okay, you guys? So I'm going to pass it over to our awesome and incredible senior vice presidents, future COCO members, Jason and Eric Ortiz. Take it away.
Woo, thank you, Jasmine. Let's go.
Great job, Jasmine.
Man, that was an absolute clinic. Really, really, really good. Listen, I wanna show this with you guys. This was actually a slide that I got from Jasmine way back in the day. And man, it still rings true to today. I still talk about this, and I mention this all the time when people ask, me to speak for them. Jasmine, I don't know if you remember this slide right here. But this is so true, man. I mean, if the idea of the business, right? We have goals, we have visions, we have dreams, different things like that. And if we want to get big, right? In order for any business to get big, right? You only have a certain amount of time to exert your own personal activity and effort, right? There's only 24 hours in a day for you to be able to do something like that, right? If you want to explode, the only way to do that is obviously you got to maximize time. You got to maximize energy. You got to maximize this by making sure that you're always consistently on appointments, prospecting, and growing, y'all, right? Because when this thing happens, right, that when you're able to set appointments, results occur, and we're able to bring people into the business, right? We have an opportunity to train and develop new recruits. And that's where expanding, when your limitations get expanded, and honestly, that's where the compounding effect and the explosion actually takes place. Okay? But it only occurs, y'all, by duplicating your efforts, by making sure that you're on appointments. I think that goes so hand in hand with what Jasmine was talking about and the idea of setting up appointments, because that's the only way for us to get big in any kind of business, right? Without burnout. Okay, without having burnout, I should say. All right. And so I wanted to share that with you. We're going to get into this competition training, but man, I want to finalize and share this with you guys one last time real quick is, listen, Jasmine talked about setting up appointments, right? Making sure that you're on appointments. She talked about that magic number 10, having 10 appointments set. Okay? Having 10 appointments set. Listen, this is a great recipe for you guys. Listen, if you're on a weekly basis, like worst case scenario, Jasmine talked about setting up 10 appointments on a daily basis, right? Seth, if you just had 10 appointments for the week, okay? And 10 appointments set for the week, and you did that consistently for 4 weeks for the month, you'd have 40 appointments set for the month. Okay? Now, we know that in the business, there's this, I don't know how to explain it, anything like that, but there's a 50% cancel ratio. There's 50% of the appointments that are set, they're either going to get canceled or rescheduled. You guys need to know that so that you don't get frustrated, okay? That you don't get discouraged, because that is something that's just part of the game. That absolutely happens, okay? So the reality of it is we are actually, Eric, on about 20 appointments. Even though 40 appointments were set, the reality of it is you can bank on 20 of them actually being done. Now, if you guys know your numbers, I know my numbers like the back of my hand. Our ratios, like if I'm sitting down on appointments, I have a 50% close ratio for life and a 25% close ratio for recruits. Okay, so if I'm on 20 appointments, 50% closed for life, that's 10 life apps, 25% closed for recruits, that's 5 recruits. So if you personally are doing this on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, George, you can bank that personally, you should be at like 5 by 10,000 or more. Okay, and if you're doing something like that, your monthly results, if the average policy now is about $800, about $8,000 a premium, you're going to roll into some rollover, some IRAs, $2,000 to $5,000 of personal income all day, every day, no matter how you stretch it. Anywhere between senior rep, district, division, regional. If that's happening, regional, you're probably making more than that. Okay, but all day long, right? You can bank on that. What happens is you're an example, you're a leader, you're an inspiration to the team and the entire company. How do we expand this? How do you see you look at teams like Alejandro and Luis. You look at teams like Edouard and Gabby. You look at teams like Brendan and Yanae, right? All the vice presidents, Ryan and Sias. How do they get to the point where they're doing 100,000, 200,000, 300, 400, 500,000 or more? It's not complicated. It's not doing things differently. It's doing the same things differently, if that makes any sense. It's not changing anything. It's not doing things differently. It's doing the same things, but just differently. Okay? And what that is, y'all, is having other people, being an example, having other people do the same thing with you. If you and 3 others or 4 of you guys have 10 appointments set, okay? The idea is having them done by Sunday night. So you're rolling into the week with momentum. You're not behind the curve. What happens is if all 4 of you got appointments set, that's 40 appointments between the 4 of you guys. And if you're doing 4 weeks in a row, that's 160 appointments set for the entire month between the 4 of you guys. Well, we know 50% cancel ratio, 80 of those appointments are actually going to be done. And if 80 of those are done with that life close ratio, you're going to be doing 40 apps, about 20 recruits. 40 apps, 20 recruits. If the average policy is about 800, that's a $32,000 base job. Edouard, a $32,000 base job as a regional vice president. How much does that bring in on an average on a yearly basis?
Depending on the QBI, but about 150,000. 100 QBIs would be 200 grand.
Exactly.
Investments.
Worst case scenario, you definitely have that $100,000 in the bank all day long. All day long. Okay, like bank on it 100%. Okay. How do we get to that's a couple of rollovers, IRAs equals $100,000 a year? You're happy, your spouse is even happier. $200,000 game plan is just making sure that we get more people on it. Right? You look at ATP, got the hot hand right now. We got about 6 people realistically within ATP really getting after it, consistently doing about 10 appointments on a weekly basis. That's 60 appointments per week times 4 weeks. That's 240 appointments. Safe to say you guys probably do very easily 240 appointments on a monthly basis right about now. Easily. Okay. Of those 240 appointments that have been set, 120 of them are actually completed realistically With that close ratio, 30 recruits, 60,000 in premium. Brendan, where you guys at with premium, right? Or where are you guys at for the month right now?
Based on that, 89 by 27.
89 by 27,000. 89 by 27,000. Numbers don't lie, right? About a $48,000 base shop, 6 to 18 rollovers. Janae, how much you guys got in investment bond? How many rollovers have you guys done this month? Four, right? Then the month's not over, still got more than that. It equals $200,000 a year, no matter how you slice it. You're happy, your spouse is even happier. And listen, for you single people, if you don't have one, you soon are gonna have a spouse making $200,000 a year, right? All day long. And it's just about duplication. You look at the system in the office, right? 6 of them playing, that's about $48,000 base shop within the, that's $200,000 a year. 12 people playing, that's about 96,000 of production within your business, $400,000 a year. And Edward and Gabby are about 18 people playing in their hierarchy right now, running close to 140 on average. They do about 200, 250 of premium. That's $600,000 a year. That's the reason why they make 600,000, right? 24 people playing, it's 192,000 of production within the hierarchy, $800,000 a year. 30 people playing, which is kind of where Toga is right now. 240,000 to 300,000 of premium throughout the year, $1 million a year. The business is not complicated. It's just about repetition and duplication, y'all. Okay? It's about having appointments set, teaching people how to do it, taking what Jasmine trained on today, which is absolutely phenomenal, by the way, Jasmine, right? Taking that, not just having it go in one ear, out the other, making sure that we get on appointments and making sure that we are teaching and educating other people to do the same things to get the same results that you have. That's the business. That you look at any leader in the business, why are they seeing so much success? They've simplified the system enough to be able to get other people to do the same thing along the way. That's all the business is, y'all. It's not that they're more savvy with investments. It's not that they're more savvy with talking about insurance and premium and things like that. It is not that at all. It is more simple as possible. Okay? And so with that being said, y'all, let's get after this this competition over here, right? We're gonna do a real simple we're gonna do a simple call blitz competition, right? I think this is gonna be amazing to be able to go through this, right? We're gonna just we see I mean, let's kind of even up the room. George, Zach, if you guys don't mind, maybe going on this side over here. We'll go side A, side B over here. And then is that enough people there? Is that enough? Yeah, I'll get on this side over here. Ryan, Coach, we'll get on this side over here. We'll do a simple call out, a simple call blitz here. We'll put a timer up on the screen here for about 20 minutes because we're at 10:08 right now. And then listen, we're gonna go throughout this competition very simply. Everybody, the idea is about setting up appointments, right? We have a short week next week, okay? And to think about, and I'm grateful to Bryn for thinking about this because we have most likely Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week is already shot for most people, right? Because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is Christmas Eve, Christmas, and most people are probably not doing anything after Christmas, the day after Christmas, right? And so listen, how do we make sure and ensure that we have appointments ready to rock and roll by Monday and Tuesday of next week is making sure that we beat them to the punch. We have appointments set for today, right? And so let's get after this thing. Let's do a real simple competition. Everybody's gonna make calls, text, DMs, whatever the case is. The goal is appointments booked, y'all. The goal is appointments booked. And whenever you set appointments, right, the proof has to be in the chat. Whatever appointments that you set, make sure you throw them up in the chat to let you know that, hey, we got an appointment set, and we're gonna keep tabs on what team is good. If you have an appointment set, what's up, Ray? One appointment booked equals a point. And this is where the winners really kind of separate themselves here. Chat. I know we have a couple of people on the Zoom here. How should we break up the Zoom? I was thinking about that. Let's see here.
They can be their own group.
Oh yeah, Zoom. Oh yeah, that's a great thing. We'll do a group A, group B, and group C. We have group A over here on this side, group B over here on this side, and then group C is on Zoom, right? The team on Zoom is Team C for the appointment setting, right? So let's go after this thing. Let's, Brent, if you could put a timer on the screen or work on that, like a 20-minute countdown on, like YouTube or something like that. And we're gonna go 20 minutes and we're gonna set up some appointments. At the end of it, we're gonna have a winner, right? But the real important thing is the winner is gonna be people that have appointments set for Monday and Tuesday of next week, going into momentum, leading in to the end of the year. Does that sound good?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, so let's get after this thing. Team A, who thinks they got it? Team A, we got, Team A's got this, right? Team A is not excited. What about Team B? Team B's got this? What about Team C? What about Zoomland? How you guys feeling about everything? You guys good?
Let's go.
Oh, all right, so we got 20 minutes. Let's get after this thing. We should be hearing phone calls. We should be seeing. Hey, sir. All right. Everybody all good?
Oh my God.
Everybody good? It's got 10 of them.
Yes, sir.
Aaron, way to go. All right, so let's, I need some help tallying these numbers up over here, like, to figure out who got these, the winners, Team A, Team B, Team C. Gabby, are you Team A or Team B or Team C?
Team A.
You're Team A. All right, so,
Yeah.
all right, so can you put it on like, there you go, Team A, Team C, appointment set with Jasmine. Team A, Gabby, appointment set. Melissa Alston, that's Team C, got 2 appointments set. Jasmine Hatch from Team C, 2 appointments set. I'm on Team A, 1 appointment set. Are you jotting down?
No, wait, you were going to take.
Oh, sorry. All right, let's see here.
We wasn't able to put the last one in because her thing died.
Melissa Alston, Team A, Team C. Yeah, Team C, just do a tally, 1 tally.
That's from top. I did 5.
What's that?
That's from the top?
Yeah, from the top. Elia, Team B. Ari, 1, Natalie, Brendan put this on here.
Oh, that was on me. I was on his Zoom link. That was on.
Oh, you got that? Okay, so
Yeah.
Ari 1, Natalie 1, so that's what, Team B?
Do you want me to give you the total?
She did more, just her computer died, so I'm about to log in and text her right now.
So Ari, Team A or Team B?
A 4, 5, 2,
2.
2.
I think that's it. We don't have to count. We went.
Makaria from Team C set up 4 appointments. Good job, Makaria. Jasmine had another one. Gabby, you had 1. Melissa also, Team C had 2. Jasmine had 2.
But Jasmine is what?
Team C. Jason, Team A, 1. Errol, Team C, 2 appointments. Brendan, are you Team A or Team B? Brendan's Team B, he's on that side, 2 appointments. Jasmine had another 3 appointments, Team C. Zach Davenport, Team A, 2 appointments. Ari 1, Gabby 1, Ethan 1.
13.
The Ethan's on Team B, right? Yep.
Me?
No, Ethan's a Team A.
Oh, Team A, Team A. This guy said Team C. Issa 1.
You said that what?
Issa's Team B. Jasmine had another 4 appointments. Jasmine's on fire. Holy smokes, man. Another 4 appointments. Ethan had another one. Natalie had 1. Natalie had another 2. Ari had 4. Gabby had 2.
You told me all the time.
I had 1. George, Team A, set 1. Errol, Team C, another one. George, Team C, another one. Japanese, Team C, she had 3.
Wait.
And then Big Nick, Team C, had another 2.
Oh, C1.
Team C one?
Yeah.
You're B, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Oh, she be.
A, B.
Oh, we said the word 8.
Yeah, so we be, that's what I said, I said, well, I think so would be. We get there for this one.
Yeah, you guys are B.
I think, it's got her.
I think Team C is just.
Team C roasted. How many appointments does Team C have?
5, 10, 15, 20, 24.
Dang, hey, look, man, give it up to Team C in Zoom land with 24 appointments. Woo! Way to go, Harold, man. That's absolutely amazing.
It's very
Congratulations. Leading into some momentum for the weekend. Look, that's how it's done. Look, it literally took 20 minutes and a bunch of us got a good amount of appointments set. Imagine if we took little 20-minute compartmentalizing some blocks throughout the day, taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour out of your day. The business doesn't have to take all day. It doesn't need to take 100% effort, but the time you dedicate to it, dedicate 100% effort on that time that you have allocated, right? So, man, congratulations to you guys. Let's have an amazing Friday. Let's go into the weekend with some momentum, and y'all be safe. Let's have a great week. Other than that, y'all know who we are. We are
Aviator. Woo.